Hi, this is Justine Lombardi, e-learning team NERIC, and this is project-based learning curriculum design for blended teachers. Before we get into specifics, I would like to give you a little general project-based learning advice based on my personal experience. Start small with one lesson, concept, or unit, and don't try to change everything at once. Project-based learning is generally more work up front to get set up, but with less on the back end as students become more engaged with the content and learning and take ownership of what they're learning. Be patient with your students and especially with yourself. If this practice is entirely new to you and your students, it can take time to adjust, and it's okay if the project doesn't work out the way you hoped it would the first time. During a project, our students' roles are much more active rather than passively ingesting a lecture from you. Likewise, your role is shifting from that of a typical teacher to one that's more like a facilitator or coach. It's important during this time to shift from seeing failure as an ending to an opportunity. Failure is an opportunity to learn and grow for both you and the students. Plan to scaffold. If you or other teachers have not been practicing PBL, your students will likely need training wheels for their first few projects. Things like calendars, benchmark, focus goals, help developing steps, recommendations, maker logs, and mandatory check-ins will all be important. I mentioned this before, but failure is opportunity. Curriculum design is an iterative process. If something does not work the first time, that is fine. It's an opportunity to reflect, adjust, and make improvements. I will admit my first attempt at project-based learning was a bit of a mess because the project was far too open. My students had been in school training them to be concrete learners all their lives rather than motivated to create things on their own, and they weren't ready for it. But I made changes based on what I learned and developed a process that worked for my students. Likewise, students need the opportunity to correct mistakes and learn from ideas and prototypes that don't work out the first time. If you've taken my other blended learning courses, you might remember this blended learning design process graphic: planning, developing, implementing, reviewing, improving. Likewise, project-based learning planning is a non-linear and iterative process. You'll develop, implement, review, and then redevelop. We should start with developing a project-based learning framework. Backwards design is a useful way to develop a framework. Start with the results you are looking for. What do we want our students to be able to do? Choose results by analyzing our standards and creating a list of umbrella concepts that are enduring and important to the content area. We then select one or two of these enduring concepts that we developed from studying the standards, and we think about the relatable skill sets necessary to understand these concepts. After we've selected one or two of these key concepts and their associated skill sets for the project, we need to think of real-world connections for these concepts. Outside of school, who cares about this? What are the concepts' relevance in people's lives? Follow that by looking for interdisciplinary connections. Utilize your professional learning network at school or online for collaboration and aid to work with other subject matter teachers to find connections outside of your subject area. Finally, we want to contemplate authentic digital age skills and how this project can help students develop those skill sets. Things like digital tool utilization, digital literacy and fluency, and team collaboration skills should be part of your planning. Once we developed our project framework, we need to consider the hook and net. How do we initiate and sustain interest for the inquiry arc? Look for connections to students' real lives, develop them a mission, create themes, try role-playing, and give students choice and voice to facilitate this. This is a video for blended teachers, so let's discuss technology integration. As we contemplate technology integration for this project, be sure to choose tools that fit the needs of your students' learning goals. Tools serve the learning goals, not the other way around. So select tools because they fit the needs of the lesson, not because they're cool, new, and neat. Scaffold for success. Ask yourself, as a teacher, what do I need to do to ensure that my students can have a successful experience on this project? Think about what academic skills are necessary to complete the project. What pre-knowledge do they need to know? Provide multiple means of representation and understanding. Students will need assistance with project management skills. Things like time management, staggering goals, and check-ins will help students be more successful with their project if you can provide guidance on these things or frameworks to work within. Collaboration, a very important real-life work skill, is necessary for project-based learning. However, students may lack context for this. You will need to provide them guidance on how to work as a team and may even consider having team contracts to help facilitate this. That's it for now, but more in-depth guidance will be provided inside of the course. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.